Well, the live stream should be starting up soon. Please give me a moment to make sure everything is set up properly. There's like updating YouTube thumbnail, things of that sort. Thumbnail is up to date. The Rumble description, perfect. Go. Rumble sharing appears to be good to go. Which? And now let me just go ahead and make sure my other computer is good. Yep, also my streams are good on the other computer. Oh yeah, there's one last thing I need to do. And that is making sure that the replays or have unique name. So, I think I can't speak today. So I think I'm good to go, so let's go ahead and get started. I do got a bunch of replays available. Grabbed a large number of 3v3s as well as 1v1s. Let's first start off the day with a couple 1v1s. And then we'll do some 3v3s. It's all Magmageddon for 3v3s. You know the map there? Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Umbrella 3 replay. Spawn on the bottom left side as the yellow allies, we have Jasmine is hot. Spawn on the top right side as the blue allies, we have Grandpa. We do now have, of course, more walls, boot camp, no fast airfield, no fast airfield. We got at least one doggy being employed on out. No, that's Peacekeeper. We got a doggy over here, no doggies over here. Will this ATF agent find the doggy? Engineer being employed on Al as well. And the Peacekeeper is going to advance on. There could be opening there for the dog to advance forward, but he will back off the dog and gets the engineer into the oil derrick. And this engineer will get in the oil derrick as well. And full Peacekeepers being employed out by blue. Looks like I got 4 at the moment. Got the captured there. Got 1 refinery deployed on out in the field. The other one's on the way. And now I do got these Peacekeepers starting to advance on forward. We do have 3 Peacekeepers versus 4. Make that 5 versus 4. Now it's 5v5. 6v6. Both sides are building Peacekeepers up 7. I think Yellow's producing less than his opponent. Blue has, of course, a lot of Peacekeepers being poured out, mostly due to the fact that there's a long distance there. So Blue may eventually have more Peacekeepers than Yellow, so may see a bit of a standoff here. And got these large number of Peacekeepers now lining up. There's, of course, this observation post here, which could interrupt some formations. And Peacekeepers do a bit of AoE damage, so gotta make sure you don't get them stacked up too much. I hear the Vindicator. Now, those good bomb slips there. Gets 1 kill on a Peacekeeper, the other one gets severely wounded. Now for Peacekeeper numbers, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, minus a half. Versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So Yellow does have more than Blue, but depending how the AoE damage comes, it can really change the difference. Good bomb runs there, though he did overkill actually the wounded Peacekeeper there. He threw 2 bombs on the wounded one and does throw a bomb on another one. Yellow's now deploying out some more and more Peacekeepers, and Yellow's eyeing the high ground expansion. Blue's already gotten the high ground expansion there. Now Blue's advancing forward. Yellow does have superior numbers here, as well as some javelins spawned on in. Javelins could draw fire, which may be a bad thing, actually. And now do got a multi-gunner turret deployed on there. We'll quickly load up a Peacekeeper. No, he does not. Does throw a good volley into these Peacekeepers. Blue's now reinforcing more and more Peacekeepers. Of course, I do believe this is filled with some Javelin troops as well. You have a good number of Javelin troops here. Looks like just 5, so you can load up a Riptide to get that fully loaded. And this one, you already got the naval expansion for Yellow as well. So Yellow's going to have the superior economy versus opponent. And Blue's advancing forward. He has a pretty good ball there, which can be both good and bad. It means that he can get out a lot of damage in one area very quickly. And a nice little spearhead push, but it means also very grouped up for the AoE damage with the shotguns. Vindicators got a good number of them deployed on out of the field. It will probably have trouble bomb splitting them all against these Peacekeepers, so it could go for something else. Takes 5 bomb runs to take out a Prospector. He may be eyeing for the Prospector. Nope, takes out the power plant there. Very nice. Does get a sell off there, get a bit of cash refund. Does take the Peacekeeper. Good sell there. You got, of course, Yellow's on low power because of destroying that power plant. Now you've got some multi-gunner IFVs going outfield. Those could be loaded up some Peacekeepers to get mobile, fully automatic shotguns. You got a dog gate out at sea. And Yellow still has the 4th expansion, while Blue has not gotten his sea expansion just yet. Something being deployed out right there. We do not see heightened clearance yet. We do have some Riptides being pulled on out. Oh, he may be eyeing for some Javelin troops inside the Riptide. Maybe eyeing not to go for frontal assault. Does take out the oil derrick there. Very good. That does even out the economy by a small margin. Right now, both sides just big standoff here. So hopefully we see some sort of massive engagement. And hopefully it does not get completely nullified by a single Cryogeddon. I want to see blood, not ice. We do now have more Vindicators pushing way forward. Not sure what's going to be eyeing. Does throw a pretty good bomb run down the Prospector. Does take another set. And now do got these multi-gunner IFVs advancing forward. Load up the shotguns. Guardian Tank here to support as well. There's some forces in there, including a Peacekeeper. Javelin troops getting some good damage there. Does throw some shields there. Draws some good fire onto multi-gunner IFVs. The multi-gunner IFVs are just charging forward. The Guardian Tank does go down. Try to go for some crushes there. It's still a good number of Javelin troops here. The multi-gunner IFVs need to start focusing on these Javelin troops. And looks like Blue's ground army will be wiped out thanks to these multi-gunner IFVs. Not a single one of them has gone down. He decides to unload there to get the missiles flying. No heightened security clearance. Charging forward with the MCV does juke him out a little bit, trying to advance forward. Single Riptide deploy on the field. Javelin troops need to get some good rockets there onto these MCV. The MCV sort of moving a bit slow there, and now we've got the Riptide receiving a bit of fire. Any Comfy Heroes today? Nope, not today. I do Comfy Heroes 1 casts every Thursday, so there will be some tomorrow. Javelin troops does get a laser lock there onto the MCV. Gets a nice crush on one of them. Almost looks like he's sort of just charging in there. Let's take out the MCV there with the Javelin troops, and now we do have the... Yep, go right ahead. I do also have a email in my YouTube descriptions in my videos, so you may, if you want to send them over through email, that's more than perfectly fine. Let's take out that Riptide there. Now we've got these power plant as well. Very, very good bomb splits. Unusual bomb splits, but good bomb splits nonetheless. We do now have a Athena cannon deployed on the field. You got an elite Athena cannon. Now do got these Vindicators getting some repairs from the armor facility. He does not have MCV, and since there's no airfield, these guys are burning on up. There's no way to reload them. And I think that's an MCV on the build queue. Now got these Riptides advancing forward with Peacekeepers and Javelin support. He has a good ground army, but there's Mirage tanks here, which can hard counter everything on this field if in enough numbers. Now got some shields being pulled up. The Javelin troops need to start hitting those Mirage tanks as soon as possible. Mirage tanks are getting hits onto those shields. Only a couple Peacekeepers are actually firing their shotguns. One Mirage tank will go down. Does get the other Mirage tank down. That's very, very critical. Athena Cannon will go down as well. Now Blue has able to break through the front line. These are still burning up. He may lose one of them. There's only 3 repair drones. And the armor facility does go down there. Mirage tank does go down as well. He still has the max clearance there. Of course, you need a Defense Bureau to get out a Spectrum Tower, and it did not have multi-gunner turret deployed on out either. Or on the queue. Aircraft carrier actually out in the field, getting a bombing run there, able to slowly whittle down these infantry forces. So go over the airfield right there. And, oops, getting pretty close. I think he's probably going to lose them. Yeah, he's going to lose those Vindicator. Unable to save them. Prospectors. Prospector does go down there. Power plant under siege does go down there. And now got these Javelin troops finding some rocks on those sorties, but not really important. And it's going to out one of the garrisons there with the Peacekeeper. Javelin troops now trying to get out laser locks. They are getting laser locks onto the seaport. And that's got the seaport right there. And as well as the high ground refinery, he does have the MCV down here. They pull out some multi-gun turrets past on the low ground. Aircraft carrier could advance forward. MCV now pulled on out of the field. Last of the Vindicators have burned up. And now those aircraft carrier can advance forward, get some great damage on this various infrastructure there. In actuality, this Prospector was down, not sure for how long. Who's not going to advance forward. He has a pretty good veteran force in this region now. Got a large number of Peacekeepers on this region. He needs to focus on that Javelin troop. I don't know why. That Riptide has sound like a different sound from machine gun. I don't know why. It just sounds different. Javelin troops now does get focused down right there. A lot of the infantry forces slowly being whittled down. All of Blue's Peacekeepers are down, but these Peacekeepers are getting slowly whittled down by the Riptide. That's elite Riptide doesn't get to fully heroic just yet, and does get wiped out by the Peacekeepers. Laser locks onto the MCV, trying to interrupt the Javelin troops. This Peacekeeper still alive, does take it out now. 2 laser lock Javelins trying to hit this construction yard. And the rest of these Peacekeepers are getting gunned down. And we do got Blue's MCV here for pushing forward as well. Great surgical strike there, knocking out those Javelin troops. Yard still has some health there. Not a whole lot. He does have max clearance there, so maybe it's a good time to bring out a spy. Tanya would not be good against Riptides. And these boot camps are being camped. He does not. He could. Aircraft carriers getting some good hits there, so that is cleaning up Blue's base. Does take out most infrastructure. 1 refinery here, not actually collecting. And a bit of an issue with the Prospector there. Does blow open some of those shield walls, and does get the set off there. Blue's MCV could have got some crushers there. Now trying to crush the Prospector. Does get the crush there on the Prospector. Now MCV's receiving a bit of fire. Riptide's now trying to charge on forward, trying to engage this aircraft carrier. It's firing, letting loose a sortie. Does get some damage on the Riptides, and now they're going to be pursuing. Got to make sure to maintain minimum range. And this Prospector has been fixed. He can deploy the other Prospector, yes he does, into this region. An EMP missile does connect, but gets himself as well. That only stalls out the game. He does not self-repair as well. And now the aircraft carriers are receiving lots of fire, lots of torpedo hits. Does take out the wounded Riptide there. Now gets a low health state, making it harder for these guys to run away. And you may need to micro a little bit better in order to engage that aircraft carrier, but it looks like he's, since now it's wounded, it's able to maintain the auto hit a bit more effectively. and the aircraft carrier does go down. Yellow does have a very good force here. It has one refinery. This refinery has not been rebuilt. And we've got the naval expansion still alive. So yellow has 2 refineries. Blue has 1. Blue has a I thought I saw Tanya on the field, but nope. These peacekeepers here are in the shape of the skull icon on the minimap. Recon run. That looks like almost like Blue's recon run, but it's very likely Yellow's. Prior shot does come forward, trying to stall up these peacekeepers from being pulled out. And he was successful at stalling. Unless it's surgical strike. No surgical strike nor time bomb. Do not have Athena cannon deployed on the field, as well as a Mirage, 2 Mirage tanks there, or should I say a Vane and a tree. Blue does not have really a force to engage the Mirage tanks at this moment. He does not have enough Javelin troops or any Javelin troops. You have now naval expansion on the low ground. And so is expansion up here. You may need to get some turret drops at point blank range on those Mirage tanks. Some Javelin troops now being deployed on out. Yellow does have sizable force here. Blue may not have enough. There's nowhere near enough peacekeepers or Javelin troops. Let's throw a Cryogeddon right there, getting no freezes in the region. Riptides are getting ripped apart. Mirage tanks still up and going, though they're a bit wounded. Blue's infantry force is now down. A handful of peacekeepers are streaming on forward. He needs to get a multi-gun turret queued on up. And now even the war refinery is starting to go on down. Blue still has a small economy to make do with. And Blue's army is being cleaned on up. MCV's coming in for some crushes, but he's on the low ground. He's receiving a bit of fire from the Mirage tanks as well. MCV's now charging forward. Does get a burst there onto the MCV. MCV sustained massive fire. Now in the low damage state. Athena does get directed there, taking out that MCV. Blue does have power plants out there. Streaming more and more infantry. And he has nothing to really engage these Mirage tanks. And that's probably going to be game. Does get freeze even on the infantry. And Surgical Strike takes out both of them as well. Blue does back out the game now. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. You know what? Let's go and go back and forth between a Magmageddon and a 1v1. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Brother 3 replay. Spawn on the right side as the green allies. We have General. Spawn on the bottom right side as the blue Soviets. We have Jimmy Smart. Spawn on the top right side as the yellow Empire. We have 10 GU. Spawn as the Cyan Empire. We have Seek. Spawn in the left orange Soviets. We have actually random. It won't go away. And spawn on the bottom left as the red allies. We have Grandpa. You now have some bears been plotted out, some doggies, as well as a power plant, along with some instant dojo cores. Blue's now eyeing for a engineer. He does have a doggy making his way forward, maybe trying to camp this instant dojo, which is more instant than a bowl of instant noodles. So we got this instant dojo advancing on forward, trying to chase away the doggy. The doggy does escape out to sea. Nice sea dog there. And now we do have a burst drone advancing forward. This engineer will capture this oil derrick. This one is still very secure. Fails the roar and the bark. And oh, didn't need that bark there, but does save his extra doggy there. So there's 2 barks down, 1 roar down, and does go and pick that one off there. And failed that bark there, but may be able to save it. And we've got another roar there, bark there, only gets 1 of the bears. Does get a kill there. Does save those extra dogs there. There's 2 bears remaining. Peacekeepers have, or conscripts are now advancing forward. Conscripts are damage outputs quite poor, even versus dogs. Dogs will be cleaned up there, but still a good number of dogs in the region. Over here, do you have the peacekeepers and javelin troops in this region? No capture on the oil derrick. We're just going to just try to gun it down with Imperial warriors. And now Green's now advancing forward with peacekeepers. So players now advancing forward with bears and conscripts. Oil derrick may get cleaned on up, going for a handful of bonsai charge there. Pulls out the shields there, stalling out the engagement onto these Imperial warriors. It does take out the oil derrick now. Does get a nice mass somersault there as it gets shot up in the air. Oh, great bark there. And red does claim the oil derrick. But all these dogs now getting gunned down by the conscripts, and does get mutual kill there as well. Green's now advancing forward with a large wave of peacekeepers and a doggy. Over here, do you have... Oh, that's a bad placement of an ore refinery. In fact, it's so far off, I think it plays another one right next to it. We do now have... Oh, there's an engineer there trying to go for the cap, but does stop the super reactor from being captured. Trying to go for it again. Does get inside the Riptide once again. That is his teammate's super reactor, and he's put a giant landmine in front of his teammate's base. I'm not sure that's a good or bad thing. Honorable Church just take out one of those units. And does get the cell up there and guns it down there with the conscript. Oh, an Honorable Discharge gets a direct hit on the Riptide falling down onto it. And basically, all the infantry got inside of those Riptides were destroyed. And now I've got the shields. Oh, apparently the Molotovs do splash damage when, again, Rangers does splash damage. I did not realize Molotovs do splash damage. So you got double kill against those peacekeepers with shields. Imperial Warrior gains some damage down the Vindicator. And does get gunned down. And the Bullfrog does find a Terror Drone. And it looks like there's multiple Terror Drones infects on these Bullfrogs. Bullfrogs are just getting ripped apart. Again, another infect there. He's losing a lot of Bullfrogs. Whereas now advance forward with some Riptides. There's probably some infantry loaded up in them. MCV is now advancing on forward. And the Riptides will slip on by without being discovered, I believe. Nope, he did discover them, and now Twin Blade is in pursuit of them. Multiple Terror Drones now deployed on the field, also snaring down this Apollo, and will gun it down on the deck. And Twin Blade does gun down one of those Riptides now. Riptide now receiving a bit of fire there. And there it goes. Could force by the ground to unload the rest of those missiles to reload. And now I've got this Terror Drone going down to the Terror Drone snare for Orange. Orange is in trying to protect his teammate. Does have a good number of Mecha Tank or Jet Tengus right there. Double transform there, but melee pulls off. He can sell off some wall segments to support his teammate. Or to help let his teammates support him. Now charging forth the Audible Discharge is a good number of Mecha Tengus. One that does get gunned down as well. Try to go for a Leech there, unable to get an extra gun. Over here, got the Hydrofoil deployed on out to support these Bullfrogs. Or, no, those are opponents.
You'll pay!
Audible Discharge does connect onto the refinery there. There's 3 Apollos on the air now. Got a nice force here, mixed force between green and blue. These Twin Blades can provide some good fire support. And now I've got the Bullfrog getting some good flak damage onto these Twin Blades. Cryo shot being pulled out of the field. I'm not so sure whose it is. And the bear does get frozen. And you also got a snared, stunned Peacekeeper that's frozen. And he's going for some of these flak troopers there with the bear. Does take out a number of the Javelin troops. Bullfrogs does get some volleys there, and now the Assault Destroyer does go down. This one's receiving a bit of fire as well. The hammer tanks will take it out very shortly. Does get down, and these infantry forces will get crushed by these hammer tanks. One of the hammer tanks will get crushed by the Assault Destroyer. Good bomb run there on the Assault Destroyer as well, and does take out the Assault Destroyer. Hammer tank's now at elite, and now it's dead. Twin Blades advancing forward, trying to get some good volleys there. Fires a good volley of missiles into the Assault Destroyer. Reverse moves away, gains some damage onto these forces when the Twin Blades do go down. Laser Lock does connect onto the MCV, gaining some great damage onto it. MCV trying to crush some of these forces, doesn't get any of them. But the Twin Blades are going to just advance forward and get some good damage on in. Got a frozen, shrunken bullfrog there. Bullfrog does go down, and now Ultra Torpedoes do connect onto the seaport. You now have Assault Destroyer deployed on the field. You can use Weapon Jammer onto the Akula sub to jam its torpedoes. Power Shot does come forward, as well as a decent Desolate Airstrike. Twin Blades are able to now clean up the rest of these forces as well. Very, very good combo of abilities there. MCV needs a boot or a bearing support nearby in order to get out a engineer, but he's loses a little bit low in credits. Red's now advanced forward with Assault Destroyer. It is infected and receiving a bit of fire from these Twin Blades. So it's getting an up armor right there, preventing the main gun, but also preventing it from being crushed, the ore collector. We do now have a Sadistic Dolphin getting some damage there onto the ore collector, still poor positioned by that ore refinery. Now that you've got a good number of Synoptics being supported with some Striker VXs for each aircraft support. Getting some great crush there. Kobo's taking out all the infantry. One of the Synoptics do get crushed. And now the Synoptic does get crushed there. Some of the tank forces are getting hit as well. It's currently busy microing the hammer tsunami tanks there. Getting some good damage there onto the MCV now. Striker VXs do ward away those cryocopters. Mordigana turret does go down. Blues of Cyan's MCV is almost down. Does get another crush there. Honorable Discharge could potentially take out that MCV at the current rate. And Honorable Discharge does take out the MCV. Chopper VX, Heroic Chopper VX getting some great damage onto the airbase now. Some of these Synoptics are starting to get frozen as well. They all go down now. Chopper VX's does go down there. As well as now got Jet Tango going down as well. It will land on top of a Peacekeeper, killing him off. Red does now have an aircraft carrier hitting Blue's base. Blue does lose its airfield, does have no expansion up here, just building more infrastructure. Hydrofoil gains good damage there on the cryocopters. We've got cryo shots being put out, but the Black Hole Armor will prevent them, but does get frozen down by the cryocopter and does get shattered in time. Red loses MCV like that's not a good sign. His Assault Destroyer seeing a bit more and more fire as well. Green Assault Destroyer, and that does go down as well. Storm takes advantage forward. We got the large number of tank forces there. They're able to overwhelm those Peacekeepers, no problem. And now the Synoptics are taking out a lot of these power plants. And wait a second, it's just Red remaining on the left's team, isn't it? Now it's a 3v1. Blue is basically gutted. He does repack up to MCV. I'm not sure how many credits he has remaining. But Red now is now a 3v1 situation, and he has a lot of assets he can work with. And that's a Sentry Bomber, which does not take out barracks. Prospector does go down there. I'm not sure Here, let's take a look, see which player that red player is. He is allies. And that, I don't know why those audio lines just really scared me. He is allies, so he has access to Cryo Shot and Cryo Blast. Looks like he doesn't have out an MCV at the moment. He's just packed on up.
Let's run some field tests.
Allied player here has plenty of credits. Let's take a look at the Soviet player. The Soviet player does have a decent amount of credits as well. So maybe try an eye for expansion, because all of the war factory needs help with that. Ground troops getting some great damage there, but don't get overwhelmed by the bears. Bears not going roaring, and all the ground troops do go down. We got a good number of bullfrogs in this region, as well as some church support him. Oh, someone just re-put out MCV. We do now have the tank busters now getting Emperor's Rage right there. None of them are fully heroic. And you got the Snom tanks, the elite Snom tanks going on down. More heroic tank busters getting some great damage on in, and red or yellow trying to advance forward, but will get overrun by this hammer tank. And the honorable discharge does take it out as well. But harassment there on the red's ore collector. It's not looking good for red. He's hitting by my multiple locations. We do got the missile upgrade as well. And this super reactor will go down, taking quite a bit of infrastructure with him. RPVX advancing forward. It looks like the ore mine being cleaned on up. And now we do have these RPVXs getting hit by those Apollos. Such bombers do get a bomb run there, but looks like one of them has a couple bombs remaining. Sometimes it's a good idea to make sure you leave them aggressive so they can just throw the rest of the bombs away. More sentry bombs push way forward, and more bombers are getting killed off. There's now advancing forward. Blue had expansion right there. Has also expanded up north here. Blue's just trying to get some economy going. He can perhaps get this economy going. Do got a assault destroyer here from his teammate and a bunch of statistic dolphins at sea, but it looks like red has nothing on sea at the moment. Hammer tanks will go in uncontested. The bear just blocked off the wall off as well. Dragon will come out. It may freeze the bear. Yep, does freeze the bear, but the black hole armor will save everything else. Though this hammer tank does get a little bit chilled there. Shrunken assault destroyer receiving lots of fire there. Needs to turn off black hole armor so it gets some dodge chance. And now these hammer tanks are going to be pursuing these tsunami tanks. We got a big wave of infantry being pushed forward by yellow. Dolphins receiving some bombing runs. And that does go down as well. Green's refinery here will go down. Refinery still deployed on a bad location. Now we got Emperor's Rage here getting some great damage on these forces. Does take out all that army. And now I got the Snom tanks and infantry force advance forward trying to hit red's Soviet production. Gets a decent bomb run off there. And his force will make its way forward. Down south, we got crowdcopters, as well as looks like a heroic aircraft carrier deployed out by red. Crowdcopters may get a freeze there, but they both go down there. The carcasses will not shatter the airbase. Infantry force advance forward. He's lacking any sort of anti-aircraft purpose at the time. His teammates, Apollos, do get shot out of the air. These tank busters will slowly get ripped apart by these twin blades. And I was saying, probably won't be able to get that war factor with the remaining force. Not even close. And it looks like Red Go has backs out the game now. This ad grade say thank you for watching and on to the next replay. Let's see, it was not that one, it was this one right here. Let's go and do now a 1v1. Greetings everyone, and great here for another Relic 3 replay. Spawn on the right side as the Yellow Empire, we have Demon. Spawn on the left side as the Green Allies, we have Jasper. I got, of course, Instant Generator. Let's see how many Dojo codes to go for. It's pretty common for people to go for 3, but this replay is relatively older. It just goes for 2. Oh, there's a third. And there's this Ore Refineries now. We do not have a Dogi advancing on forward, as well as a Laser Lock Javelin trying to eye for the garrisons. Do not have a Burst Drone deployed out on the field. Goes for the Instant Dojo right here. And this year will manage to claim the garrison, and this, or not garrison, oil derrick, and the garrison's not actually fully destroyed, but of course cannot be garrison anymore. Maybe Iron 4 Riptide to load them up. Looks like some of these peacekeepers are starting to get crushed by the Dojo Cord. 2 of them do get crushed there. We got a good number of Javelin troops being plotted on here, so it's likely going to go for a Riptide with filled up with 5 Javelin troops. And now do also have a Mecha Bay pulled out as well as a power plant. It's a Dojo going for more Imperial Warriors. I don't think that could be Engineer. Nope, Tank Buster. Of course, got one Tank Buster here. He's not going for the Engineer just yet. Tank Buster gets some good damage there, but he's starting to focus on the Tank Busters. And the Tank Buster does get gunned down. The Warriors get some good damage there. Up, and there's the Engineer to capture the oil derrick. Airfield coming on up, maybe eyeing for some Vindicators. Peacekeepers and Tank Busters are falling back. We're seeing a bit of fire there. And Tank Busters have, of course, been gunned down. Now the Imperial Warriors are trying to bonsai away, and one of them does get gunned down now. Mecha Tankos may eye for a transform. No, they do not eye for a transform there. And listen, now it does get some transforms there, trying to kill off this Riptide. It should be able to get it, no problem. That could be Tier 2 being researched right there. Nope, that's not Tier 2, that's just more Mecha Tengus. Looks like he's just low on economy, not eyeing for his high ground expansion just yet. Green is up to redeploy his MCV up here. It hasn't gone for expansion yet either. And we do hear some Apollos now in the air. Javelin troops find some good volleys there. Trying to go for onto the charge there. Get some great damage onto those Javelin troops. Looks like 3, maybe 4 of them went down. Not sure if there's any Javelin troops inside of that Riptide either. And there was actually some there, so they didn't lose out actually that how many Javelin troops, but 3 of them only remains. Over here, Apollo's now trying to engage these Jack Tengus. Let's get one of them killed. Riptide in this region. I do hear somebody deployed on out. Looks like he does get his refinery up there. Both Yellow has not gotten his extra ore refinery just yet. The Apollos is seeing a bit of fire there, but of course they're falling back to get healed up. It does get a sell off on one of those wall segments. Does get a bit of damage there. Got the Javelin troops now firing away. They're quickly being focused on by these Mecha Tengus. Does get a nice bomb run there on one of the Mecha Tengus, and this Riptide will go down. Does take out one of the Mecha Tengus before going down. Prospector now back trying to pursue. Got the MCV, does not get a crush there, and now the Prospector is back on the build queue. One of these Mecha Tengus will get crushed there, the other one will get bombed. Apollo's now flying about. We got another boot camp or instant dojo being deployed on out. We got, of course, the Dogi out at sea. Apollo's now received a bit of damage there. Nothing too significant. And I don't see any much military for the Empire player. That has to be the upgrade now. Mecha Bay upgrade. And that was... So he does now have tier 2. He may be eyeing for some Striker VXs or some Tsunami tanks. This Prospector has been pulled off the line. Trying to avoid this Mecha Tengu, who's a veteran. Does throw a bombing run there. It does survive the Vindicator bombing run thanks to that point defense drone. This Riptide may be loaded up with something. That's just a Sea Dog. And now this Prospector is receiving a bit of fire. Does take out that Mecha Tengu there with the Vindicator. Got a handful of Striker VXs. This could be a Tsunami tank, could be a Striker VX. It's hard for me to say. Got some tank busters deployed on Allen's Field, going for a bit of a mixed force. Riptide's advancing forward. One of them does get shrunken. Does get some good damage down to the Prospect onto the Crowdcopter. I think that Riptide's there just meant to shatter the frozen targets.
Get out!
And Crowdcopter's now receiving lots of damage there. It does get transformed there. Takes up the Crowdcopter as well. And now the Tank Buster's trying to engage the Riptide. Riptide's now low health and does not find any... Oh. Nope, does not find any additional volleys there to take out that Riptide. Apollos do receive a bit of fire there. They're falling back, get some repairs. And we got now 4 Chopper VXs, 1 Striker VX on the field. Make that 5 Chopper VXs and 0 Striker... 5 Chopper VXs, 0 Striker VXs. You now have Assault Destroyer being deployed on the field, designed to advance on the sea and crush down some of these wall segments. The second one of the Apollos there with the Striker VXs, very nice. And now I do have a Sea Dog advancing on forward. Tank Busters are coming over here. They will find some good volleys there onto the Assault Destroyer, though, and that one does go ahead and get on the ground. And now we've got the nice bark there taking out or studying some of these forces. Where did that Ore Collector there? Ore Collector's right there. Ore Collector does not get crushed, but I think one of the Striker VXs got crushed. By the way, we got now the Chopper VX getting hit by the Apollo. One of the Apollos do go down. Another Apollo does go down. Does take out the Jet Tengu. And this Collector is still alive and being tasked back onto the field. We do now have the Apollo there receiving a bit of fire, or dished out a bit of fire. And now got the boot camp under fire. Budokan turret being pulled on the field. And it's coming up pretty slow. That's probably about the speed for a Budokan turret there. I don't know why. That doesn't seem like a multi-gunner turret to me. I don't see a defense bureau, so that has to be a multi-gunner turret. Not a prison tower and not a chronosphere. Does get maybe bad time to transform right next to that Multigun turret there, and the Multigun turret will get some good volleys there. probably still used to like watchtowers and other sort of defenses from Kane's Wrath. That's maybe one reason why that looks so slow to me, because those build pretty quickly. This will start advancing forward. There's 2 peacekeepers here, one quite wounded. He may need to get some more peacekeepers for 18 infantry purposes. You know, if you do now have the Apollo, or yeah, the Apollo's getting gunned down by the Jet Tengus. Got a handful of Javelin troops firing some good rockets there. The tank busters here, transported by a sudden transport. Prospector trying to go for crush there, gets a triple or quadruple crush onto those tank busters. Now he's trying to let the sudden transport die due to a sudden, not sudden discharge, honorable discharge there, and able to get gunned down the rest of the ore refinery with the Mecha Tengus. It looks like not. And the ore refinery does go down to the honorable discharge of the sudden transport. He probably should not have gunned down that thing. And now the prospector being deployed on out. Looks like one of those, another prospector does go down. Chopper VXs go down as well. Jet Tengu goes down as well. And I've got the Tsunami tanks and infantry force advance forward. He needs some anti-aircraft support, so maybe some Striker VXs that walk along with these Tsunami tanks. Do now have a multi-gunner here, find a good volley onto the Tsunami tanks. And Tsunami tanks are now throwing some rounds into the Assault Destroyer. Now it looks like there has been pulled on the field. Tank busters are here as well. They do not get their rounds diverted. And that multi-gunner does go down. Got a nice point defense drone there. Assault Destroyer does get a good crush and does get taken out by the tank busters. More crushes there on the allied infantry. I think all the Tsunami tanks are down. Got the Mecha Tengus and the tank buster facing forward. Bomber comes forward as well. Looks like a large team roll miss there, and now the rest of these Mecha Tengus are getting gunned down by the Apollos. This Apollo will get gunned down there. That was an elite Apollo. There's 2 Apollos right there as well. One will get gunned down. The rest of the Jet Tankers will go down as well. Motor gun turret being pulled on out, trying to deal with the infantry forces. All of Yellow's army is dead. Green's army is badly bruised and beaten. Got a heroic Apollo on the field. I'm not sure what happened to this refinery. Maybe it's sold off. Refinery core plant on the field. You got a hydrofoil here. The Apollo will spot nothing. And it looks like the MCV is making his way maybe towards trying to get towards the naval expansion. Not sure what's doing at the moment. Do now have Imperial Warrior advancing forward, just trying to scout out his opponent. That was a bit overkill. Tsunami tank now advancing out to sea. Of course, does throw the weapon jammer there. Jams the Tsunami tank. Apollo's advancing forward. We got the Vindicator as well as the Cryocopter. Oh, there's an extra core collector there. I remember, I think, I remember the explanation of what happens if you put multiple ore collectors there. You actually do get an ever so slight increase in ore collection, but it's generally not worth it. Dozer core being pulled out on the field. Maybe Rocket Angels? That's a stupid idea. So we got this hydrofoil here. Weapon jammer is enabled, so even if it sends over a single chopper VX to deal with it, or a Mecha Tengu or Tsunami tank, it will get jammed. He needs to send 2. And he does find a volley there onto that heroic Vindicator. Of course, he can repair himself. We now have these Striker VXs advancing forward. We now have a Cryo again being deployed on Al as well, raising out a lot of this infrastructure right here. Though we may not get the power plants actually. One power plant does get frozen. He has these guys in anti-aircraft ready. The power plant does get unfrozen there. Bomb splits hit the Chewed power plant and does miss the ore collector and the ore refinery, but does take out the tier 2 Mecha Bay. There's probably going to be a Mecha Bay being pulled out right there. We've got the Assault Destroyer trying to make its way out onto land. And now we do have a decent force here, but just nothing solid either. Both sides don't have a solid force. Striker VXs are nice, but they can't deal with Assault Destroyer. If they transform, then they'll be vulnerable to the Apollos. We do have now a final squadron being pulled on out. And this Mecha Tengu does get frozen. It's a fully heroic one, does get some damage on this power plant. Shrinks down the Mecha Tengu as well, and now the Prospector will crush it. Hitting off an elite Prospector. Do now have these Apollos advancing forward with one Crowcopter. There's a Vindicator here to support as well, so eyeing for some freezing. Has a good anti-aircraft escort. It looks like this refinery may be still chilled. It just looks discolored to me. And this ore collector may get wiped out there. Throws that bomb a bit too early. It does lose out one of the Apollos as well. Single Jet Tengu does get some damage there. It does fall back now. Do now have a single Tsunami tank being frozen out at sea. There's nothing he can do to stop that. He does get destroyed off there. Yep, this ore refinery is just gonna be... These are all discolored, right? Or maybe I'm going crazy. I actually think I'm just going crazy. They look all discolored to me. We do now have these Assault Destroyers advancing forward. Oh, there's a spy. That spy is what it is. So do have a spy here, which could be very interesting. Maybe he's trying to get bribe onto these Striker VXs. He doesn't really have an army for the spy to really go after. Of course, it could do some work. Let's keep an eye on the spy. The spy is interesting. Of course, he may be going to need to let it join the assault and hard counter any sort of meager force opponent may try to pull out. Point defense showing on the field. Now I do have another final stronger on the field. I'm not exactly sure how effective it is versus all these forces. He's now sitting on top of the beacon, so the spy could eat a final squadron there. It does get a cryo getting there. Final squadron does miss the spy. And the cryo again does get some great freezes there. Now it can advance onto low ground. It's going to lose his ore refinery there. Peacekeeper's advancing forward as well. There's a large number of tank busters here. And they need some more infantry support. It's also Dojo Corps over there when we needed some pure warriors. Spy is still there. And we got a nice dogfight here. Striker VXs do transform as well. Takes out the Apollos. And the spy could... Here's a spy right here. I'm just keeping an eye on the spy because this is just... That could change quite a bit. Does transform away from the spy. Even though he doesn't realize he's transforming away from the spy. EMP missile does miss. Spy is along the southern cliff side. There's a good number of tank busters here. Needs more anti-infantry, probably. Got an ore collector here. That could be some anti-infantry. Has a naval expansion as well, and some Yari mini-subs. Even getting like a chunk of these infantry units wouldn't be half bad for the spy. It does cost 1,000. We got the what's it called? The Emperor's Rage right there. It does take out the Mecha Bay, just a tier 1 Mecha Bay. He doesn't need to grab a whole lot from the bribe effect. Say if you spend 1,000 credits to take 3 tank busters. Tank busters what? 200? Oh, probably a little bit more than that. He doesn't have a dojo. Javelin troops are 300. So if you were to say grab 2 tank busters, you may think, oh, he just spent 1,000 to get 600 credits worth of stuff. But in actuality, that also means their opponent loses 600 credits worth of stuff. So in actuality, that would be a difference in 1,200. So even just grabbing 2 Tank Busters is technically worth it with a bribe. You don't need to make bribe super high value. These small things could be very, very effective. Though the spy himself is quite expensive. They have to factor that cost as well, and most times spies get 1 bribe off before dying. So count the cost of the spy. You don't need to grab a whole lot. Probably 3 Tank Busters, and they'll pay himself off. I actually don't know how much spy costs either way.
Sure. Where's the trouble?
Spy is 1,000, so imagine just spending 2,000. So you grab 3 Tank Busters, which should be. There are 300. Just want to make sure that's correct. So say you grab 3 Tank Busters, that's 900 down for your opponent, plus 900 for you. So imagine that's basically 1,100 cost spy, while your opponent loses 900. So technically that's getting pretty close to break even, but grabbing 4 Tank Busters, then it definitely did pay for itself. Jet Tango's and Chopper VX is getting some great damage there. It does get a good hits on the power plant, does cut down some of these Javelin troops. And this force is getting quite a bit of fire right there. And some of these bullets are flying off this. I thought they were Wave Force artillery. Pyro again is going to come forward, and he did not respond to it. He's too busy microing over here. He may lose that entire force to something. And most of that force is down. Chopper VX is getting some great hits there. A lot of them fully heroic. Wait, can you bribe and get an MCV? The spy is right here. The Assault Destroyer can body block the MCV. And now here comes the Bonsai Charge. He does get a Bonsai Charge there. Oh, bribe off there. But apparently Bonsai Charge makes you immune to spy bribes, apparently. That's interesting to note. Chopper VX is getting, or Striker VX is getting some great damage there. One of them remains. And Green does back out of the game there. I wonder, I did not realize bribes cannot affect against Bonsai Charge Imperial Warriors. That is something good to know. By the way, this is Adam Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. So, yep, maybe avoid the Bonsai Charge. Avoid Imperial Warriors. Which replay was that? I'll worry about deleting that replay later. Let's go and go for a 3v3. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Relic 3 replay. Spawn on the right side as Red Empires with Git Wreck as Random Red Empires. Spawn on the bottom left side as the Blue Soviets, we have Oblique. Spawn on the top right side as the Green Soviets, we have Sexy King Nor. Spawn on the bottom left side as the Orange Soviets, we have 0010, which is just 2. Spawn on the left side as the Magenta Soviets, who was actually random, we have SXXC. And it's on top left side as a Cyan Soviets, we have En Multerdien. Wait, there's not a single allies here. We've got 1 empire and everybody else is Soviets. Well, either way, allies OP. But this is going to be a heavy metal game with all these Soviet players. The Empire player, of course, is in a good position for being Empire. In the middle there, he's able to be a bit more mobile, a bit more aggressive, doesn't have to worry on defense all too much, so he can perhaps go for a bunch of Jet Tangos and sort of just harass everybody. And the Engineer gets roared and goes down. Gets the Bear roared as well, so that's a perfect roar. Getting a managed to secure himself a 7-10 split and a roar. Bear's going down, but killing off the Engineer is great. Red's going to take an opportunity to try to claim that oil derrick for himself. Go for it. Wait, okay, that was cash bounty there. I don't know why I thought that was bribe. I saw the cash. I heard the cash sound there. I think it was a spy bribe. I was like, no, that makes no sense. Now I got these instant dojos advancing on forward. Do now have some bears. Looks like I got mutual kills there. That Green does get a good roar there. Back on off. He may get to secure the kill there. This one doesn't have the roar there. This one needs to get the kill there. And these bears are camping that point. And blue does, or red does claim that oil derrick. And blue does safely claim his own. Green has not claimed his own. I wonder if he lost his own engineer as well. Mutual kills there. A lot of sea bears advancing forward. Noble strong circles to stop them. And now we got Instant Dojo receiving some Flak Trooper Magmite. Onto charge does come forward and does get even mutual kill as well. Instant Dojo looks like does get a crush down on Flak Trooper. The Flak Trooper does go and gun down, flak down that Instant Dojo. Flak Trooper now receiving a bit of fire there. And now we do got a Sickle here as well. Sickle does jump onto the refinery line. And the Ore Collector will be backing on off. Does get a kill there onto the Imperial Warrior. And he gets gunned down himself. Blue's now pushing forward with a lot of Sickles. Got a lot of Jet Tengus flying about. Now do have some Hammer Tanks here. Forcing back these Sickles. Very nice. Orange has claimed his oil derrick. Of course, it'll be a bit of time before any profits. And do got a Terror Drone here. He's trying to go for Crusher Crane. He's trying to leech down the Crusher Crane. Cancels the Crusher Crane there. And looks like he's going to just lose the Hammer Tank. I have no idea what's going on right there. You now have the Ore Collector receiving a bit of fire from these Mecha Tengus. And now the Hammer Tank's going to try to stop these Mecha Tengus. And it looks like, oh, I would have gone for the Ore Collector and killed off. He was pretty close to getting killed off there. Sickle does jump around on a way. We got a large number of Terror Drones blown up by Cyan. And does kill off that conscript as well. Bear took a lot of bullets. And I believe the Terror Drone has cleaned on up. Green does pull out Crusher Crane as well. And this Ore Collector receives a bit of fire as well. Sickle does go down there. Sickle is now trying to run away. And this Ore Collector is backing off into the volcano. And this Sickle will go down. His teammates Super Reactor right there. Orange not going refinery there. Looks like this one was either destroyed or canceled. Orange now eyeing to advance forward significantly. And now we also got a Tesla Coil out being pulled out on the field as well. Hammer Tanks could try leeching down this region. Orange trying to wall himself in. Very nice. And now Blue's advance forward with the Engineer. Terror Drone does body block the 80 wall placement there. Tesla Coil will not be cleared in time and sells off the MCV. He could have packed it on up, but the Terror Drone was in the region as well, and he didn't have any, oh, that's a second MCV, so Soviet Orange went for a second MCV. That's why he was so willing to sell off an MCV, because he already had another one out in the field. Green's MCVs, however, will get Terror Drone and will get gunned down. And will get gunned down there. Conscripts are here, Sentry Gun here, but nothing really enough to stop these Hammer Tanks. Orange's Tesla Coil will be completed, so he will maintain refining here. That bear will be gunned down. Cyan's Ore Collector has been pulled off the line over here, getting repaired on up. Sometimes it's just a good idea not to actually pull them off the line. I believe the math is like to get 11% reduced mining efficiency, which is a good number, but nothing that you don't really want to pull off too far away for. More Terror Drones being pushed forward. It does get a nice impact there. Blue's Bullfrog will go down, has another Bullfrog in the region. Multiple Terror Drone infects onto these Hammer Tanks. And now we do have these Jet Tengus flying about, but they will get hit by these Bullfrogs there. One of these Twin Blades are still alive, but does get killed off by Blue's supporting Bullfrog. Gets the kill off there as well. Very nice. Science deployed a large force here trying to help out Orange. Multiple Terror Drone effects there. You may want to leech down his own Hammer Tanks there in order to not only steal the gun, but perhaps destroy the Terror Drones. The Duhat Engineer throws it into the War Factory. Very, very nice. And the Terror Drones do come on out, and he does lose that Terror Drone there. A lot of Jet Tengus flying about as well. And he does find an exposed harvester there. Do got a naval yard here. Just more Bullfrogs. Transform there, but fails to transform right there. Just trying to get out of fire. He was pretty wounded either way. Looks like Blue's MiGs are getting gunned down. Do got some Cyan Twin Blades here. I'm not sure what's actually destroyed there. And do got an orange Sputnik. We got a handful of Jet Tengus down south. And Cyan has expanded out here. I'm not sure what Green's been doing for a bit of time. Got a large number of Twin Blades. Those are that Mecha Tengu has been cleaned on up. And do got a Tesla Coil here as well. Not sure what was destroyed there. Orange receiving more and more harassment there from the Twin Blades. Purple's, Magenta's Twin Blades do try to come to respond, but was unable to. Gets a nice couple last bullets there to gun down that Ore Collector. And this Twin Blade will get gunned down. Oh, there was an engineer in that Twin Blade. Interesting. Nope. Too bad they wouldn't see any more of that. Navy Yard receiving a bit of fire from these Twin Blades. And now do have these Twin Blades see a bit more flak fire as well. Do got a Bullfrog here, which could push forward to engage these Twin Blades. We're advancing forward with a large wave of infantry forces. That looks like a Desolator strike. Oh, it's satellites. So the satellites does force back the infantry forces here. Very nice. We may see point defense drones there. And Orange still maintains this refinery here. And even, oh, that is a V4, isn't it? V4 fires off one more missile before going down. And we do got now a pair of flak cannons on the field. Orange, Blue's face forward for some MiGs. Let's take out those Twin Blades. Black Tire's still here. I can see somebody placing out a lot of beacons. I'm not sure where. Like he's spamming out a lot of beacons. Red not being pulled out on the field by Cyan. Red does have this big swell of Jet Tengus flying about. Red's going for a central refinery's dangerous positions. Green may need to focus on defense. Bear's now being deployed out by parachutes. And now the Twin Blades getting some good gun down there as well. Guz get some good roars there. Twin Blades do hunt down those Twin Blades and do transform on top of these Bullfrogs. Handful of these Twin Blades can get some damage there. And all the Bears do go down. Does save most of his infantry forces. And now they start advancing on forward. Though these Twin Blades are currently going around uncontested. There's the transform. He does finish off those Twin Blades now. Of course, these Jet Tengus are on cooldown, and now we've got these Hammer Tanks just getting some great crushes there on these infantry forces. Jet Tengus do go and falling back. Still got a good number of infantry forces here. We've got a whole bunch of pings being deployed out by everybody. I think this ping's being deployed out right there. Something, I think that's Dreadnought being sunk. The MCV will be sunk. And perhaps take time for the oil derrick as well. Nope, not going for the oil derrick, going straight from the Navy Yard. He does have a battle lab and war factory here, so he can rebuild his MCV. And these Twin Blades will get gunned down by these Bullfrogs. Two of them now fully heroic. Wait, what? Orange has captured Red's MCV. Now he has access to Empire technology. Though these Twin Tesla Coils get some great damage there. Autobus Charge will get some good damage onto the MCV. He's going to try to run it away now. And throw some rounds there onto the power plant there. That must have been captured as well. And wait, pilot sniped? It sells off the refinery there, or the power plant, in order to capture up the MCV that was pilot sniped by a Natasha, Green's Natasha. And he destroyed off that power plant, preventing it from being sold off to be quickly captured up as well. Very, very interesting there. And I got Apocalypse tanks harpooning Apocalypse tanks. And this Apocalypse tank is receiving a bit of fire there. Quite wounded. That got these heroic Bullfrogs in the region, so that's plenty anti-aircraft for them. Now I've got these Twin Blades advancing forward with these Bullfrogs. Got turret push for team right side. Orange's base is pretty much gutted. He still has this region here, has a boot camp or barracks there, and a barracks here, but that will go down. I'm not sure what other production he has. He saw those Twin Blades there. Does have an airfield, so Orange has minimal production. It has 2 oil derricks, 1 refinery, barracks, and airfield. So that his structures are locked in place, but does have a good amount of income, and he can do some great micro with those twin blades. See a whole bunch of pings coming on out as well. I think those are satellites there that rained on in. These are good kills those on the infantry forces. Orange actually has another refinery there, so he has actually pretty good economy for what for what production structure he has, and captures an ore refinery there, sells it off. That's probably not worth it. And denying the income's always quite nice though. The selling off ore refineries is not worth it. It's better to throw a spy in there. Of course, Soviets can't deploy out spies. The Empire player can deploy out Shinobi to steal, siphon off funds. Orange's twin blades getting good hits there on these ore collectors. These orange bullfrogs as well. He has a set remaining of them. And now Natasha does get gunned down there. It does get, and the twin blades go down. More torpedoes. Ooh! Slices through both bullfrogs, taking him out. That was a pretty good ultra torpedo. I think he was trying to get one, but he managed to get both. Blocks are advancing forward. We got some tank busters here, which are not enough at the current situation. That may be a desolate airstrike. This airstrike does come forward and does melt the infantry forces inside the barracks. Cyan now has deployed out Natasha there. Red does have a good amount of infantry. Mecha Bay here. Does have tier 2, not tier 3. And now the Mecha Bay is being lased. Both Purple and Cyan has a pretty good bullfrog force here. Orange's base here is now under siege. He is actually supercharging Tesla Coil to get increased range and rate of fire. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. I think the biggest thing right now is just increased rate of fire. It does get bombs that charge there as well. Orange's base here will be gutted. He does have access to an ore refinery and oil derricks. So he does have some economy. He can focus on these twin blades. He does take out that ore collector there for Cyan. Against Cyan. Increasing phase 4 as well. Orange needs some some MiG support out his teammate. It needs to focus on the MiG as well. Blue's MiG does get shot down. Orange's MiG's not firing away. They're trying to hit this super reactor. Very, very good. These MiGs need to start hitting these twin blades. And the twin blades going to try to go for it. Side space forward, gunning through Blue's base. They're cutting it really close. Need a missile volley there. It does get the missile volley there. Gets great damage. Does not take out Orange's airfield. Taking out Orange airfield will knock Orange completely out of the game. That hammer tank has... Okay, that's just not a gun, but piece of building there. Magenda's now backing on off. Has a bit of mixed force remaining. Now we do have a Yuriko Omega. And there goes the airfield. Orange down to a single Tesla Coil and ore refinery. Just might as well back out of the game. As wrecked up north as well. Blade's getting some great damage onto the tank busters. Tank busters could finish off some of these bullfrogs, but do not. Blue's base is still being guided by these pox tanks there. One of them's actually elite as well. Blue is down to minimal infrastructure. Twin Blades will slowly whittle these guys down. He says the Navy Yard still here, and that's as well as his MCV. He started saving up to restore all of his income for a refinery just in case. Doesn't immediately deploy, just needed to perhaps just get enough credits to deploy one. Do now have these King Onis advancing on forward. 3 of them. Yuriko Omega receiving good volley there. Takes out one Twin Blaze. She stays alive. And since she's fully heroic, she will get some health regen. Twin Blaze trying to disrupt that. It does manage to get that Twin Blade as well. So she stays alive. And now to knock out fully heroic King Oni. She has some pretty good bodyguards there. And harpooning down those walls is not exactly a great idea. He does manage to pull out another refinery here, so Blue's not out of the game entirely. Going for a Crusher Crane as well. That engineer goes down. I think he sold off a... Not sure what that engineer was doing. You now have a satellite rating on in. Gets a great hit there, takes out the core collector, and now all the Cyan base will be gutted out. Cyan's infrastructure is very, very minimal. In fact, he does have a war factory, but looks like no MCV at the moment. Does have 3 refineries at the moment, however, and Bullfrogs are getting infected by these terror drones. Foxfang still being whittled down by Blue's twin blades. Both of them, these guys are elite, but they can't shoot up. It's not a road 2. Oh, got some effects there onto these King Onis there. One of them fully heroic being infected. There's still a point defense drone there trying to make them just as long as possible there. King Oni's getting some great damage while moving around. And he start hitting down some of these wounded King Onis so they can destroy off the Tesla terror drones there. Does scout one of his own there. Does get a nice satellite strike. Good Bullfrogs hit there onto these Jet Tengus and does lose all those terror drones. Do fully heroic King Oni still in the field. Perhaps do a Bullfrog bull charge on one of those forces. Bullfrog charge. That's definitely the right term. Bullfrog seeing a bit of fire there. Oh, looks like Yuriko is still alive, but she may have just went down. Yeah, it looks like Yuriko has gone down. Still got fully heroic King Oni. Orange, Magenta, and Cyan are still... They're still in the game, but they're very, very battered and bruised. Cyan's now trying to defend with infantry. Still has a war factory that probably is an MCV. Bullfrogs making their way back up north. Carcass of Apocalypse Tanks was there. And now these Twin Blades of Fancy 4 trying to get some good kills onto these war collectors. So Cyan may be out of the game. Orange should have backed out of the game a long time ago and give his teammates these resources he's collecting. Do not have a Psionic Decimator deployed by Red. I think Team Right-Sided won the game. Cyan doesn't have much, and he has the most of his teammates. We got this Naval Guard here. Magenta has 1 refinery and 1 oil derrick. So it's a handful of Twin Blades. Gets great hits kills there. Does land that Twin Blade there, and now the Jet Tanks will clean up all the MiGs. Cyan's starting to rebuild some of his base. Ore collectors have been rebuilt. He must have quite a bit of resources stored up. He took a long time to build an MCV, so he would have large stockpile resources. He does have had 4 refineries. Cyan is starting to quickly build himself back in the game. Magenta's trying to dissuade him. Green has the MCV here, or Magenta's his teammate. Bear does go down. Bear's getting camped by bears. Does get the roar off on the bears to stun the bears. A bit of an unbearable engagement. And this Coil will get 1 zap on the heroic conscript there. It does not. Bears charging force still does get no roars there. Oh, and do now have Natasha gunning down these bears. But she's out of range. Now does gun down that last bear. Orange still being gunned down, and now Orange is completely knocked out of the game. Oh, looks like a good amount of flak trooper volleys there on the Natasha. Natasha does get gunned down, or will get gunned down by the Twin Blades, and do have now Apocalypse Tank here. Getting some good crushes onto these Hammer Tanks and Sickles and Bullfrogs. And now got balloon bombs being dropped. Terradrone being pulled on out, which won't really accomplish all too much. Getting some great crushes there. I suppose the Terradrone's doing some great work in general, but Apocalypse Tanks is having trouble staying, not dying. And Harpoon does not come forward as well. And you got a Terradrone surprise right there from the Apocalypse Tank saying 1 class F you. Tank Busters, I think there's a Tank Buster surprise there. Getting some great damage there. Sickles being focused down, and now does get cleaned up by the Terradrone. Boom bombs have expired and now got satellites. I think it's going to be level 3 satellites. 2 more green Apocalypse Tanks advancing on forward. And now here comes a level 3 satellite. Green is back for this player to assign back on the game. Magenta's now the sole player in the game. And I think there was a Eureka Omega inside that sudden transport. And either way, it's the end of the replay. This is Adam Grade saying thank you for watching and on to next replay. And before we actually start the next replay, I do need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I am back. See, that was that one there. So let's switch to a 1v1 now. Battle-based beta. Let's go for that one. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Age of Empires. Another 3 replays spawn on bottom left side as the Red Empires. We have Troy 78 spawn on top right side as the Blue Allies. We have Aztec, improperly spelled. Aztec is spelled with an E, right? The Mesoamerican tribe, to say the least. If it's unclear, though, that should be pretty famous Mesoamerican tribe or empire. Really, it's actually more of an empire. Death Cult as well. Apparently, the opening of their Grand Pyramid in Tenochtitlan, there was apparently around 30,000 to 100,000 sacrifices on that day. And then they took all the blood from those sacrifices and anointed the entire city. Can you imagine the smell of that? Them just throwing blood everywhere across the city as a sign of worship. By the way, we do have the burst drone being gunned down by those early Javelin troops. He did go for some early Javelin troops, probably eyeing for some instant dojos, but we do only see the one instant dojo. We do got a third refinery there, so the Empire's playing for a triple refinery opener. Going for a whole bunch of walls there, which is going to be necessary since he went for a very, very slow start. But this may be able to pay dividends. Looks like this garrison's now garrisoned by a single Imperial Warrior. Now it's garrisoned by a single Peacekeeper. And you probably could take time to destroy out the oil derrick. Probably a good idea. No, that is an engineer. He's going to try to capture the oil derrick. Another layer of walls there. Nope. And there's the engineer. If the Empire player can quickly recapture it, his opponent will only have a loss. Though then again, he will also have a bit of a loss. Putting some Peacekeepers everywhere, very nice. He needs to get a lot more Imperial Warriors. We do now have a Mecha Bay Corps, which would be very useful in pulling out some Mecha Tengus. Mecha Bay being employed on out. And now I got the Imperial Warriors. What's it going to take time to destroy the oil derrick? If he did it quick enough, he will cause economic damage to his opponent. But it's getting, and does manage to clean it up there, but he will lose all those Imperial Warriors. So probably he lost just, 5 Imperial Warriors as it left, what, 100 or 150 each? Yeah, he definitely lost more in that engagement. I didn't, of course, deny all the future income. Let's go ahead and garrison up those other garrisons. Blue's doing a good job garrisoning up everything else, but right now, since Blue has expanded out, The economic advantage of the Empire player has greatly diminished, and now do got these jet Tengus advancing him forward. He needs to start pushing out the map. He is going to have a lot of barriers on the ground, so going for a more of an air focus would be a good idea. This is one, it's Empire. Two, it'll help him bypass all of these garrisons. And does find himself an Apollo there. Does get a good first strike there on the Apollos. He could potentially transform and engage the Apollo on the ground. And now these jet Tengus are falling on back. Got more jet Tengus being reinforced now. He's going to have 6 versus 2 Apollos. And now starting engaging the Apollo as well. That one does not get gunned down. He's going to try to pursue these ones all the way back on home when the jet Tengus do go down. It's not looking good for the Empire player, that's for sure. He's just sort of now just stuck in his base. Does the garrison this garrison to help clean out this garrison. A number of Mecha Tengus out on the field now. He could try to go for a quick snipe on that Vindicator. Does get a quick snipe on that Vindicator there. Apollo's now under gauge. Does lose one of his 2 of his jet Tengus. One of the Apollos do go down as well. So overall great engagement there for the Empire player. Do now have some Yari mini subs been pulling out field. Going for a handful of them wouldn't hurt. Looks like he has 3 at the moment. And he knows this one has expansion over here, and he's gone for double airfield. This could leave him very exposed to these Yari mini subs. And to mention, the Final Voyages can get some great splash damage in this region. He may need to pull out, with this much infrastructure here, he may need to pull out a Prism Tower to engage the Yari mini subs. Looks like he's not pulling out any more Yari mini subs. The Allied player has expanded up here, so the Empire player now has, well, had less economy, not having an oil derrick, but now he has even less economy compared to his opponent. 5 Apollos advancing forward. That should give his opponent him realize, like, oh, 5, that's more than 4. Which means 2 airfields. Do have looks like 4 Yari mini subs pushing forward. A group of 3 advancing. Their last buddies lagging behind. Can you hit Vindicator on the deck with torpedoes? That Yari mini sub has now received quite a bit of fire there. May just want to eye a final voyage with it. How effective is a final voyage versus docked Vindicators? I'm not exactly sure. We may find out. Yari mini subs sort of rotating around. I do now have this multi-gunner turret deployed on the field as well. Yeah, he may actually need a... Oh, there's 3 airfields here. With this much infrastructure, I am not joking. A Prism Tower wouldn't be half bad. Peacekeepers are being cleaned on up. We got multiple Mecha Tengus now advancing forward. Trying to slowly to go clean up all these garrisons. We got so many Vindicators here. Strike of the X is going to be a great item for Soldat. Does lose one of his Mecha Tengus. I think he lost one of his Vindicators or Apollos. It goes on by, gets low power. He may have actually deployed too much there, going low power himself. Taking out all the power plants there, that just saves all these multi-gunner turrets. This could have been self-inflicted low power. Plus, the multi-gunner turrets can't fire into underwater, so I think the army says push forward right there. He does deploy out multi-gunner turret there, so he must have deployed that out, low power, and then he quickly sniped all the power plants.
No way!
Jet Tengus are now engaging. I think the Apollo's going to get some great work done. Chopper VX draws some fire there, does get transformed there as well. Gets another Apollo as well. A lot of those Apollos have gone down. Very many subs could find some good work on there. Going for the Prospector, very nice. And those one runs does take out 1 Yari mini sub there. 2 Yari mini subs are very, very wounded. And does go and dive away. Does lose 1 of the Yari mini subs there. No final voyage. Oh wait, holy crap. That Vindicator almost went down on the deck with that. I'm not sure where the Yari mini subs maybe went. I think there's still at least 1 live. Yes, it's right there. Going for the power plants here. Going for the grounded Vindicators. Does transform the grounded Vindicators. Going for the next power plant there. Trying to stop any multi-gunner turret placement there. You now have a cryo shot from the field. Make it does get the wounded Yari mini sub guys. Those freeze down Mecha Tengu. Do now have another power plant being pulled on out. And getting some good hits there on these power plants. Motogun turret does finish off those frozen units. There's still triple airfield here. Some Naginata cruisers wouldn't be entirely crazy, honestly. Or just more Yari mini subs. Thinking out, this area is ripe to be hit by a bunch of Yari mini subs. Now we've got a fully heroic Yari mini sub here. He definitely can't support all these airfields anymore. Could sell them off. Could try migrating to the high ground. After all, it's going to be a super show. I was going to say the tsunami rises to hit these structures, but that's actually a line for the tsunami tanks. He's low power once again. Deploys out another power plant. He's losing a lot of infrastructure here. Right now, since the allied player deployed out so much infrastructure here, he's getting hit by these cheap Yari mini subs, and these Yari mini subs are hitting well above their weight. And I'll mention most of those Apollos are down. There's some Apollos there. And he did do a transform as well. I do also no Defender Core. I thought I saw Defender Core. Coming for a bomb run. Does get one of the Vindicators there. Multiple of those Striker VXs do go down. He made me pull out some more. He does go for a Defense Bureau. He may be going for some Prism Cannons or Prism Towers. More power plants. Deployed out something that other queue as well. Maybe some more multi-gunner turrets somewhere. There's multi-gunner turrets a little bit of everywhere. Let's get a cryo blast there. Freezes down the ore collector and the ore refinery, but nothing in the region to help finish it off. So this stuff should be able to recover. Do now these Apollos or Vindicators advancing forward. The ore refinery has unfrozen, which is much more important. Ore collector may be unfrozen soon. He should have not sold off that ore refinery there. He may not realize they actually thawed out. And we do got a Proton Collider being pulled out of the field. Another airfield? Puts himself on low power there. Sells up the airfield there because he saw those Yari mini subs there. Now this airfield's under fire. Vindicator's coming for a bomb run. Takes out... Nope, doesn't take out anything. Takes out the airfield there. Do we see a Prism Tower on the build queue? And now we've got these Jet Tengus or Mecha Tengus just going by the ground route. But of course, he does have some multi-gun turrets on the ground. Downtroop does find some damage there. And these Mecha Tengus, they're just not going to get much work done, honestly. What defense drones do save these Mecha Tengus. And we've now got the Chopper VXs getting, or Striker VXs getting some great damage there. He will take out the airfield. He should perhaps try to focus on the multi-gun turret there. The multi-gun turret is still continuing more damage there. But now the Yari mini subs does use a final voyage there. Does not take out the MCV. The MCV is oh so wounded. There's the final voyage. Maybe? Takes out the MCV there. Yeah, there is a Spectrum Tower there. Spectrum Towers can engage underwater units. Got a heroic Yari mini sub there. 2 wounded ones. He could take out some of these power plants there. If he knocks out the power plants, his one will be on low power. He is actually out of... He doesn't have a war factory or naval yard, so he has no way to produce stuff. Now he's low in power. He has... The Empire players needs to keep on hitting these power plants. If he takes out more of these power plants, the Proton Collider cannot fire. He needs to focus on defense. He doesn't have... He may have less economy than his opponent, but... His opponent can only build air units. Prospector being pulled on the field. He needs to pull that out in the middle of all these airfields to get out some cryocopters, get some heightened clearance. But even putting his opponent on the low power not only will deny the Proton Collider, which still has 4 minutes remaining, it will of course reduce the production speed of all these structures, though he has a lot of structures out for production, so that may not be an issue. Armors have come out, does take out the wounded Yari mini subs. The heroic one's still alive. Still a couple multi-gunner turrets here. But he can take his time. He has rebuilt the refinery down here. The Imperial Dock's still up and going. And now it's going to come forward, trying to hit this power plant there, trying to avoid the cryocopters. Cryocopters are going to be a bit of a problem there. And Final Forge does put in the low power there. Still low in power, he has to sell off another multi-gunner turret or an airfield. Not sure how many aircraft he has in the air. Vindicator does manage to escape on out of there. And now the multi-gunner turrets are down, or gone. Does sell off an airfield as well. He needs more Yari mini subs. This Proton Collider does pose a massive problem. We all know a super weapon does pose a massive problem. There's a lot of cryo comes in the field as well, so he's going to need more Chopper VXs because the shrink's down, and now he can easily freeze the rest of these forces. These Mechatangers may need to sacrifice themselves, and they've got mass transform there, trying to focus on the cryocopters. Going to quickly annihilate most of those cryocopters there. Now engaging the Apollos. Apollos are sustaining lots of losses as well. There's still a couple frozen Striker VXs that are all shrunken down. And now all the Apollos are gone down, does re-shrink, and now does take out the rest of these cryocopters there with, well, actually the Chopper VXs. Blue's Air Force has pretty much been gutted. Massive wave of Vindicators advancing on forward. And still has some oh no. We know that's a bad time to transform. Takes out the Striker VXs. These jet tankers need to transform as long scan. Striker VX still firing some missiles up here. Chopper Cryocopter does manage to escape on out there. Yari mini subs are now redeployed. He still has 2 minutes remaining, and there's some very exposed power plants here. I honestly don't know how much power it takes to power up a Proton Collider. Currently have 375 out of 400. Each power plant provides 200. Now, if I'm going to hazard, if I'm going to hazard a guess of how much each of things cost, plus 25, 25, 25, 25, 200? Oh, that does not add up. Proton Collider maybe consume like one. I can't think of a good combination would be the power consumption. So as we start, if you see this power plant goes on down, Final Voyages, go for Final Voyages. Just take out those power plants. Oh, there's a power plant up here as well. Okay.
Let's run some field tests.
Power plant on the high ground as well, so we can't take out all power plants. But taking out 2 will probably disable the Proton Collider. He has 2 Yari mini subs remaining. Proton Collider at the current rate will fire. He needs to make sure these Striker VXs do not get hit. Proton Collider is also relatively slow to fire, so when the first round fires, he could potentially run away in time. AVR is actually destroyed. Okay, there's no more Yari mini subs. Takes out a power plant there. Did not throw. He did throw in the low power. He's going to need to sell off airfields. You know, I actually don't really know the exact power production as well for everything. Do command hubs provide a small amount of power? Taking that out did reduce his power output by 150. So command hubs must provide a small amount of power. They must provide 50. Interesting. I did not know that. Because 150, 150, 150, that will go up to 350, and there's just 50 extra probably from this command hub. Chopper VX advance on 4, Jet Tengus as well. Oh, there's a Proton Collider, and he dodged it. That is acceptable losses to a Proton Collider. That is very, very important indeed. Then again, I think that maybe there's a multi-gun turret over on the far side that could have been still alive as well in power consumption. But still, we do got a massive wave Vindicators of 5 Vindicators. That's enough to one-shot a collector and ore refinery. So Red's still not out of the game yet. He does have, of course, that timer reset. Shotguns getting some good hits there on the point defense drones. And these ore refineries are... they're not depleted. They have less than 4,000 left. Getting some good damage there, trying to clean up these garrisons. There is a Jet Tango, or not Jet Tango, Javelin Troop getting some good damage there. Mass Transform there, he has still a large number of cryocopters there. Go for Emperor's Rage again. Does Mass Freeze that Striker VX. Emperor's Rage transforms, trying to engage. Does have the Striker VX as well. And I was just trying to run away from these forces. Striker VXs are pushing way forward as well. Since they move faster, since they're shrunken, it's actually very important for him to catch those force, and does force back his opponent right there. But of course, that he can just wait to expire. There are many subs in this region. Going for a power plant's not going to be important, other than trying to deal with the Proton Collider. Mass Transform right there. Mass Transform there, trying to go with the Cryocopters. Vindicator's hull being gunned down. Apollo's getting great engagement there. Jet Tangos are not properly engaging. Large amount of shrunken missiles hitting these Apollos, getting gunned down by the Striker VXs, and Blue does back of the game. Could not deal with those Striker VXs on the ground, shooting down all of his Apollos. This is Anagrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Very interesting game that was. And let's see, that was this one right here. And let's go for a Magmageddon. Let's go, just start from the top. Greetings everyone, and great here for another Road 3 replay. Spawn on bottom left side as the Green Allies. We have General. Spawn left side as the Yellow Empire. We have 10 GU. Spawn top left side as the Blue Soviets. We have Jimmy Smart. Spawn bottom right side as the Orange Allies. We have Sequel. And spawn right side as the Red Allies. We have Vindy. Spawn top right side as the Magenta Empire. We have Cubicle Empire Allies. How did I mess that up? Either way, we've got some bears being pulled on out. We've got some doggies as well. Those are just a pair of dogs. One bear. Will it be a dog eat bear world, or will it be a bear eat dog world? Let's find out. Down south we got a dog and a dog, so we may see a dog eat dog world. And we got a bark there, and the bear does eat the dog. Over here we got a Dojo Core advancing forward. He may find himself... no, that's his teammate. Green does claim the oil derrick there. Blue's eyeing for this oil derrick now. Dog's advancing forward. He may get a bark off. No, he does not get it. Now Magenta's advancing forward for a handful of Peacekeepers. Over here, do got a handful of Peacekeepers as well. And Yellow's advancing forward for Dojo Core. Does kill off that Imperial Warrior there. Somehow there's not a mutual kill there. We also got Orange Dog here as well. Peacekeepers, large number of Peacekeepers being deployed on out. We've got a large number of Peacekeepers here. We've got a good number of Bears and Conscripts. Dojo Core deployed on out. And does get destroyed there. And looks like that burst drone does get shot up by that Vindicator. Orange has a dog down south. Red does have a good number of Peacekeepers here, not hitting the oil derrick. Green does have a superior number of Peacekeepers in this region, however. Let's start advance on forward. Up north, we do have, looks like, not sure what was going on there. Does good shield there, drawing some fire for Green, and Green does not lose any of his Peacekeepers there, though they're all quite wounded. Blue's now advancing forward. We've got Conscripts and Bears turning forward. Does get a great roar there by Blue, able to get kill off all these forces there, and the Magenta's force there does get killed off. Blue's not eyeing for a forward expansion there, going a little bit greedy for that one. This one's a little bit safer. Now the Apollos do see a bit of fire there, and they do spot the yellow MCV advancing forward. Doki does receive some torpedo fire. And Magenta does have a full air base of Vindicators. Maybe pushing those guys out. I'm not sure if they actually have any bombs into them. I'm for the ore refinery. Oil derrick. Had a good number of bombs there. Not enough to destroy it, however. And now this oil derrick is receiving a bit of fire from green. And the oil derrick will go down. Orange is not taking time to clean them up. Now's the perfect time to clean them up. Red's advancing forward these Vindicators to the orange southern... Nope, that's his teammate's base. He's trying to engage this assault destroyer. Multi-gun turret on the field. He does get some bombs there. He's bomb splitting as well. He's making sure that he doesn't turn on off the black hole generator and blow those bombs in midair. And does take out the assault destroyer there, just leaving one Riptide. The Riptide could be loaded with some infantry forces, but I don't think so. Oh, it is. It managed to not get enough bombs there. Takes out one of the Vindicators on the deck. The Riptide does go down as well. Vindicator... Other Vindicator will be saved. Yell's advancing forward with some Jet Tengus. Who got some Chopper VXs, getting some good damage in onto Magenta space. His teammate, the blue Soviet player, is advancing forward with some conscripts, and they're getting gunned down and fulfilling the role as their job as conscripts. Riptide's now being focused down by the Chopper VXs. Red's now advanced and does clean up some of the Green's infantry that advanced forward. And Magenta's base is pretty gutted. Does finish off those Striker VXs. Magenta does have a refinery seaport and his MCV here. Orange has expanded right there. We do have now a multi-gunner turret here deployed out for his teammate. Both of these multi-gunner turrets are just out of range as well. Looks like Magenta space receiving a bit of fire. Nope, it's just the Vindicators receiving damage over time for the lack of airfield. You got a large number of Terror Drone, Bear, and Bullfrog. That force is inadequate. Now the MCV's been put on the field. If he's able to get some good snares there, the MCV is able to get some good crushes. The MCV does get a double kill there. We've got 2 assault destroyers in this region. And now Blue does have a hammer tank deployed out on the field, and looks like more hammer tanks are being deployed out as well. Good bomb runs there onto that assault destroyer. Does go ahead and swap out the black hole generator and be following that one back out for repairs. Very nice. I like seeing people pull back those units for repairs. We don't nearly see it enough, in my opinion. Let's get a quick kill there on the Terror Drone. Vindicator's now trying to pour as well. We'll see some Bullfrog fire or flak. Now we've got these hammer tanks. They do get a lot of these Riptides are snared. A lot of these hammer tanks get some great damage, but they're throwing some rounds there on the MCV. Hammer tanks do receive a pretty sizable bomb around there, just leaving one remaining. Fresh one being pulled on Al as well. Black Troopers firing some shots there on other targets. Terror Drones, surprise, does come forward. And now the multi-gunner turret is receiving a bit of fire. Trying to go for some mag mines there. We've got more multi-gunner turrets being pulled up by Magenta. Does get some mag mines there onto Magenta's multi-gunner turret there, and more flak troops being pulled up by Blue. Assault Destroyer now advancing on forward, trying to help his teammate to stop Blue's aggression. Down south, we've got the orange Riptides advancing forward. A large number of these Assault Destroyers are very wounded, so he may need to get them all back for repairs. Yell's now advancing forward with a good number of tank busters here, but got the Tsunami tank frozen as well as one of the tank busters. Multi-gunner turret does go down. Does kill off that Peacekeeper there, and does bomb down there. Prospector does go down there. Assault Destroyer advancing forward, trying to get some, does shatter some of these forces. You now got these. Sputniks does take out the power generator, and this one does, Vindicator does survive. Does have a full deck there still. 1 elite, 1 veteran, multiple wounded. Good bomb run there on the Tsunami tank. Flak troopers advancing forward. Do got a flak tower, flak cannon being pulled on out. Over here, do got these jet Tengus flying on bout. They do have the point defense drones. Good number of them as well. Oh, Prospector's advancing forward. He's trying to go for some turret pushing via Prospector. Jet Tengus are engaged in Apollos. Does get one of the Apollos there. May mass transform onto hit these forces. Does he get the Crowdcopter as well? And nope, looks like we're going to just back on off and head his way up north. Got a good number of flak bullfrogs here. Magenta's base is being slowly gutted. The refineries up here still up and going, but the airfield looks like it will go down. Jet Tengus making their way down south. I'm not sure what that was. Probably Apollos. And it's got a pretty sizable EMP effect there onto these Riptides. Assault Destroyers advance forward. One of them has black hole armor going. The other one just has their guns firing. The Hydrofoil needs to start getting its anti-aircraft gun firing, hitting up these Crowdcopters. This Assault Destroyer is almost gone down. Good bomb run there onto the Riptide. Great handoff of a lot of these black hole armors. Over here, we got the Flak Troopers and Hammer Tanks advancing forward, trying to get clean up Magenta's base there. And you looks like Yellow went for a bit more harassment. More harassment here by Yellow. And that or Prospector does go down. Assault Destroyer does go down. More multi-gun turrets being pulled out. Snom Tanks advancing forward. You may want to go for a mass crush there. Mantle Deflector does charge forward, trying to go for a crush there, but it does force his opponent back with that Cryo Blast. It doesn't even get any of his own infantry forces frozen there. Very, very nice. Point defense drone deployed on out. Storm making his advance once again. Dolphins do clean up an Oro Collector there. And Green's Assault Destroyers are just... It's sort of nice to see the Assault Destroyers just using their guns. You don't really ever see the Assault Destroyers assault a location with their guns. They're always part of a some sort of task fleet. Or it supports the infantry. Does he have the 4 refineries there? Bear does it. Veteran Bear could get some good damage there. Nope, that's actually Blue's Bear as well, not Magenta's. Even all the wall segments have gone down. Magenta still has a base here, has the seaport as well as the construction yard. Actually, that's purple as well. Purple's also down here. Oh, this is orange, right? Orange backed out of the game. On with this, you got the Empress race there. And it looks like the central player is backed out of the game as well. I forget what color that was. Red? But either way, we do have now just purple remains, so it's a 3v1. And he does not have much infrastructure left. Jet Tengu's camping this airfield. Twin Blades now advance forward, and he does back out of the game now. And somehow all that stuff did not explode. They're just carcasses there. Weird. Either way, this is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Let's see now. Let's go with a pool party. That's a 2v2, right? Greetings everyone, and Grain here for another Roller 3 replay. Spawn on top right side as the Purple Soviets, we have Oblique. Spawn on bottom right side as the Cyan Empire, we have Unity is 1. Spawn on left side as the Green Empire, we have Empire player. Very original. Spawn on the left side as the Red Allies, we have You-Know. You-Know? It's You-Know. We do now have the boot camp deployed on the field. Got some doggies being employed out as well. Bears being employed out as well. Looks like Comm Engineer being employed on outline for this oil derrick. And got this dog bouncing out, avoiding the bear. Allied engineer deployed on the field, ready to sacrifice himself to the oil gods. And the bark does stop the bear. And the dog does also stop the bear. We got a Sea Dog advancing on forward. Down south, we do have a Instant Dojo here, dancing from the Instant Dojo. And Cyan will want to secure his oil derrick. He does have this Imperial Warrior there, which could be crushed, being chased down now. Nothing being pulled out right there. Ink Buster's being pulled out now. We've got a number of burst drones in the air. Mecha Bay for green. War Factory for magenta. No structures just yet for red. And Cyan's going for his own Mecha Bay. And for peace conscripts here, we do now have an airfield for red. And Cyan has claimed this oil derrick. And this conscript may be run down, will be run down by a Dojo Core. Does get snared there by the Terra Drone, and now the conscripts could just take his time and throw Molotovs onto the Dojo Core. You got, however, a Jet Tengu advance support. Could get quick transform down to engage the Terra Drone. Terra Drone does get the effect there, and as well as a cash bounty as well. He may get the kill down to the Terra Drone, decides to fall back a little bit farther away just in case the Terra Drone does pop out like that, and gets gunned down. Garrison does get cleared out by these conscripts. They don't keep peace. You have these conscripts getting gunned down by these Jet Tengus. Picking them all off as can add up over time. Garrisons, however, is garrisoned. You now have a hammer tank here, as well as a handful of bullfrogs. As well as a Terra Drone making its way down south. We do have a doggy here. That is Magenta's Terra Drone, so the dog could be eaten by the Terra Drone. Does not get eaten by the Terra Drone. And it looks like these Jet Tengus do get mostly shot down by the bullfrogs. They're going to be backing off out to sea. And decides to stand there and shoot some bullfrogs and gets gunned down by the hammer tank now. And no honorable discharge damage either. Striker VX is out on the ground. And we do got this Terra Drone still moving around. Do have these Vindicators coming from a bomb run. There's an exposed ore refinery core there. It gets a free refinery core there, and none of these Wind Blades or Vindicators will go down as well. That's 25,000 credits down the drain. It's not down the drain. It was on land. By the way. But looks like some of these Vindicators will get gunned down by those bullfrogs, but I say worth. Could have done a little bit better queuing them back home. Up north, we've got some Dolphins, as well as a Hydrofoil advancing on forward. Seaport next to this refinery. And now the Dolphins are making their way down south. We do have, of course, a Navy Yard here. Oh, Tesla Coil. The Dolphins do not want to see a Tesla Coil. And we've got the Terra Drone here. We're seeing a bit of fire there. Great snares there. And the hammer tank's trying to deal with these guys. Great cash bounty onto those Mecha Tengus. I think it threw the Terra Drone inside one of the bullfrogs. Green does have a couple Jet Tengus flying about. His teammate has a couple Vindicators flying about as well. He also had a Hydrofoil here to jam the Tesla Coil, but I suppose the Dolphins did die. Hydrofoil could switch it to its weapon jammer to save itself. Did not save itself. Now I've got the hammer takes there, leeching down this refinery. The Prospector does get infected as well, trying to run away. Over here, we've got this Ore Collector now being gunned down by Grain. Very nice. Got these Stingrays now advancing onto land. The multi-gunner turret does get powered off there, or low-powered mode, but luckily his teammate does free, or his opponent does free him up some power. Multi-gunner turret does receive a bit of fire there. Good hits there on those hammer tanks. Does take out two of those hammer tanks there with those Vindicators. And I do still got some more harassment there on these ore collectors. Stingrays say hello. Chopper VX getting some good hits there onto these exposed hammer tanks. The elite one will go down. Bullfrog says hello. And Science now advancing forward with some Striker VXs on the ground. Apollo's advancing forward. Gets a good bomb run there onto the Bullfrog, and we've seen a bit more flak there from the other Bullfrogs. Chopper VXs receive fire from the Striker VXs. Tsunami tanks are also on the ground as well. There's a very, very deadly force here deployed out by Cyan. And that is a sudden transport there. I was curious about that, why that Striker VX or Mecha Tank wasn't firing, but in actuality, it is in fact a sudden transport. Cryo shot does come forward as well. Gets 2 of those tank busters there. Cash bounty here. Green will need a bit of help. Seeing a bit too much fire. Honorable Discharge did not get any crushes, nor did the so I'm thinking good kills. Do now have the cryocopters to get shrunken down there. Does slice up some of these tank busters there with the Imperial Warriors. Does get one of the tank busters there. Looks like all the tank busters have been killed on off. These Tsunami tanks are getting gunned down. There's still too many Striker VXs here for this for his opponent's Striker VXs to transform. In fact, there's a large number of Striker VXs here, more than Tsunami tanks. MCV is now trying to pack on up, trying to engage these forces. Guardian tanks coming down here as well. They do get some good damage there onto these Tsunami tanks. Green Tsunami tanks are advancing forward with some Striker VXs here, and it starts. If he transforms into Chopper VXs, he will also be gunned down as well. Got these forces advancing forward with a multi-gunner IFV. Now Science in full retreat. Magenta's now advancing forward with a sizable force here of hammer tanks, conscripts, Terra Drone, Tesla troopers, a big mixed army there. Guardian tank is now receiving snares. He could pass push forward with one of these Tesla troopers there to get the Tesla Surge. Let's take out another Guardian tank there. There's 2 dual-wielding hammer tanks now. These will go down. Let's get some shrinks there. And now the Bullfrogs are trying to pursue these cryocopters. Green's now advancing forward as well with a whole bunch of Jet Tengu or Mecha Tengus. We also got these Guardian tanks here. 2-1 just gets EM discharge there, but does get killed off by the Mecha Tengus. Magenta's force will get cleaned on up. Tesla troopers all get gunned down by the Mecha Tengus, allowing these Guardian tanks to go in on these hammer tanks. These are two dual-wielding hammer tanks, so they will do a lot of firepower, a lot of damage. And now that hammer tank does go ahead and go on down. In the middle here, Magenta's MCVs in the region. And it looks like they did get a cash bounty off this bit of money there as well. That's our strike. He does avoid it in general. These forces are getting repaired on up and pushing their way forward once again. We do now have these Tsunami tanks advancing forward. We've got the MCV receiving a bit of fire as well. Some tanks backing on off. Soviet MCV is advancing forward. Over here, Green is advancing forward. That is a multi-gun turret being bleached down. Magenta's advancing forward with a barracks being put on the front line. Cryo Blast has come forward as well. And Science forces are slowly being whittled down. Magenta's NCV still in the region. Does take up a Tesla coil. Indicator bomb run does come forward as well, trying to deal with these hammer tanks. Got a good number of flak troopers and Tesla troopers in this region. Good number of Guardian tanks for defense. Trying to deal with these barracks. Chopper VX being pulled on out, taking out those Tesla cores that's being pulled on out. And there's a Cyan and an Empire allied airfield right there. That ain't good. So he must have sunk in an engineer. And now the magenta player is advancing forward as well, trying to deal with that airfield. Takes out a large number of structures there, trying to sell it off, and now his teammate can deploy on airfield for him to land at, right? Red's not back with his force here. Magenta does lose his MCV, which may have been sold off because I see a engineer model there. None of these hammer tanks are dual wielding. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these hammer tanks are dual wielding. That's a lot of extra firepower there. Red's MCV is receiving a lot of abuse now. Guardian tanks simply can't advance forward. Green's advancing forward, getting some good hits there on the garrisons. Striker VX is being picked off by the chopper VXs. Red, what does Red have remaining? Refineries. No naval yard. I think Red is basically knocked out of the game. Red should probably back out the game to get all this economy and infrastructure to his teammate, because right now he has no production. Science been knocked the game mostly as well. Yeah, there is. I just want to confirm there is no production left for Red. Hammer takes pushing way forward, dealing with some of Green's infrastructure. Does gun down that Striker VX. Cyan is almost knocked the game. Basically, minimal infrastructure as well as same as Red. Hammer tanks are advancing forward. Of course, got 2 of them fully heroic. Make that 3 of them fully heroic. Got 3 fully heroic mecha tanks here as well. A large number of these hammer tanks are fully heroic as well. 3 of the dual wielding ones are fully heroic. The one that's unvetted is the not dual wielding one. Chopper VX coming on forward that can deal with these hammer tanks no problem. Red needs to back out of the game. Before he gets fully knocked out, he can at least give his teammate all of his money he has stored up, because he probably has. It wouldn't surprise me, it's close to 10,000 credits at the moment. Donating a lot of extra guns to these hammer tanks. These hammer tanks may just want to stay more out at sea. Let's take a quick look at everything. Empire player is down to minimum. Yeah, the allied player is down to 15,000 credits. I think he's just trying to pull out... no, that command hub's not doing anything. Oh, well, he's trying to pull out mass command hubs to sell off to get peacekeepers. I just say back off the game. Your teammate needs those credits. Also, there's a handful of pings over here. I can't read them. Or just beacon.
I present to you the MCV.
Science basically knocked out the game as well. He's building mass ore collector. And there we go. Green now has all of that economy. He does have no more MCV. He's low in power. With this many credits here, it may be a good idea to actually sell off some of the ore refineries, because you simply cannot spend it all. If he has, yeah, he did sell off some of that stuff to get higher power in order to get his higher production, because he needs the higher production at this point in time. He has nearly 20,000 credits.
Twin blade inspection complete.
Magenta has a lot of credits as well.
I present to you the MCV.
And he definitely does have MCV, it's right here, and has plenty of production capabilities. How much money does Cyan have? He's spending all of that on ore collectors. Speaking of which, I will give Green a lot of veterancy. Ore collectors are actually relatively resistant to a lot of stuff. But of course they can't resist everything for too long. He does get some good audible discharge damage there on the Mecha Bay. Let's go ahead and overrun some of these refineries. Very nice. And these hammer tanks are advancing forward. There's one bullfrog here. It is fully heroic. He needs to make sure he needs to focus on that bullfrog first. Audible discharge just gets some damage there. And that fully heroic bullfrog, these chopper VXs are just having trouble engaging them. And yep, that heroic bullfrog's all he needs, and I think Green's gonna be, yep, Green's out of the game as well. Those Jet Tengu's not going to do much. And green is back out of the game now. This Android saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. Probably have enough time for one more replay for tonight, so let's go ahead and find one. See any unique maps here? Not really. I just go for another Mapmageddon. Let's just finish off the day with more 3v3s. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Red Alert 3 replay. Spawn on the right side as the green allies. We have General. Wait, did I already cast this one? No, I did not. Spawn on the bottom right side as the blue Empire. We have Aladdin 24. Spawn as the orange allies. We have 0010, also known as 2. Spawn on the bottom left side as the red allies. We have Dig Life. Spawn as the random allies, we have Vindies. Spawn as the random yellow Soviets, we have Blindies. We do have this Doggy advancing on forward. We got this Bear as well. Down south, the Soviet player has deployed our reactor. Red's going for a lot of dogs here, not push them forward. He must have forgot to rally them. Or it could be some sort of person that's relatively new. Or for Multi-Gun turret on the build queue, as well as let's go refiner or refinery. Green's dog does get cleaned up by Science dog, and now these dogs are advancing on forward. Engineer not coming out. Red, yeah, that's probably a newer player. Blue does pull out a engineer here, and seeing his opponent has not captured that up, he's going to try to go for the capture of that ore refinery. Nope, I have no idea what he's doing. There you go. Large number of peacekeepers advancing forward. That peacekeeper's doing push-ups up north. We do have these bears advancing on forward. Does get a quick kill there on the peacekeeper, and now these bears advance forward. Gets a great roar right there, and great bark there, locking down all those bears. Very, very, very good defense there by Orange. Yellow now has a bunch of bears being formed on up. Blue's now advancing forward with some Imperial Warriors. This Oral Derrick has not been claimed just yet. We do now have an engineer here. Yellow's now advancing forward with a handful of conscripts. Putting on a turret, IFE has pulled out there. Dogs advancing forward, no barks there. Imperial Warriors are all getting gunned down. This Cyan multi-gun IFEs are getting some great work done. Their load up peacekeepers are getting fully automatic shotguns. Do not have that instant dojo going down. Do got this engineer here. Since his teammate has failed to capture that oil derrick, he may capture it himself. He had an engineer back over here. Yeah, the engineer's right there. Green's now advancing forward with a whole bunch of javelin troops there. Does laser lock down that barracks. Yellow's base is very sparse. And now it's advancing forward with a lot of bears. Dog does get a good bark there, but does leave him vulnerable for a moment. But does get another bark off there, locking down the rest of those bears. More bombs coming on in. And Green will be gunning down Yellow's MCV. We'll get another volley of laser lock there. Yellow's MCV is trying to run away. You have this oil derrick. Now we're seeing a bit of fire from these peacekeepers. MCV is now pushing way forward, trying to get some good damage on in. We got these multi-gunner IFEs advancing forward. One of them actually uploaded a peacekeeper. And I tried to go for engineer cap on that MCV. It was unsuccessful. Not engineer cap, he was trying to go for repair, wasn't he? Trying to throw an engineer inside of his into his teammate's MCV to get it quickly repaired up, but he was unsuccessful. Yellow has a battle lab there. What is? Yellow is basically out of the game. He has a battle lab and a super reactor, but that's it. Yellow's already knocked out of the game. Yellow should just back out of the game at this point. We do have the Jet Tengus flying about. Cyan has a pretty nice unusual force. You have a loaded up multi-gunner IVs, including the missile ones. Prospector does receive a bit of fire. Mecha-Tengus do get cleaned on up. Blue does have a good number of Mecha-Tengus being employed on out. It does have a naval expansion over here, so Blue has 3 refineries. Green just has the 2. Orange expand down south, sealing this refinery. Could go for here as well, and does have a dog in this region. Peacekeepers are advancing forward, but they should be quickly gunned down. And that Riptide does go down now. Prospector may try to go for Crush there. Got now a got an elite Prospector here, but a lot of damage here. It hasn't been from satellites, right? There's so many wall segments down. Or was there a time bomb? How early can you get time bombs? Let's just switch over to the other players. None of them has
Someone to take a look around.
protocols available at the moment, so I'm not sure what that was. It just seemed like there's just way too many wall segments that went down there. We do have those dolphins getting gunned down. Red's now advancing forward from a big wave of infantry. Cyan's doing a good job of escorting him as well. Got these dogs and javelin troops here. Orange's engineer is going pretty deep in. His force is starting to fall on back. Blue does have a good anti-infantry force here. And the battle lab does go down there. Vindicator's getting gunned down. These missile multi-gunner IVs, or nope, that's just regular ones. Missile multi-gunner IVs, in my opinion, they just like get a larger burst, which make them good for anti-aircraft purposes, but overall they're not very good in general. Like their DPS output is probably generally the same, but they're of course better at hit and runs. Fire shot being put on field, able to get some good freezes there. And now Green's advancing forward, able to break through this front line here. Some Riptide advancing forward, probably load up with some infantry. Fire shot being put on field as well. Probably may not even get the power plant. Okay, does freeze the power plant there, does destroy the power plant. Mass laser lock into Yellow's MCV, may get wiped out by those laser locks. Did not get the kill there. Snom takes up advancing forward, gets good hits down these multi-gunner IFVs, and Cyan has back the game, getting all the infrastructure to Yellow. So Yellow's technically back in the game with a lot of money stored on up. Prospector's starting being gunned on down. And this Prospector's starting to get gunned on down as well. Gathering troops are getting gunned down. Reg is streaming forces forward. And Peacekeepers are getting some good hits there. I don't think Yellow's actually doing anything, is he? Yellow's now out of infrastructure once again. Just down to basically his ore refineries. And Yellow has back to the game. That should give Red a massive pile of money, and Red back to the game as well. This is Anna saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Though I actually mentioned that earlier, that was going to be my last replay for tonight. Getting a little bit tired. It's been a long week so far. Either way, this is Anna saying thank you for watching. Have a good night, have a good evening, and get some good rest.